Starting lineups, first for Vlatko and Adanovsky, 2 changes from their team that played in Utah. The big job is for Haley Mace, who comes in for the injured Elizabeth Ball.
In those central areas, they'll need to win the midfield battle in order to stifle Kansas City's midfield. If they do that, ultimately they'll be able to find Marta and Banda in more dangerous areas in transition.
Barbara Branda leading the line as ever for Orlando Pride against Tema Shawinga, 2 of the absolute stars in this league. It has been a hot afternoon. We have been delayed as a result, but we're finally underway with Orlando Pride visiting Kansas City Current. And that early ball out from Anna Morehouse goes out for a throw. Orlando coming in as reigning champions, but winners of 4 of their last 11 games in NWSL. The summer has not been as kind to them as they might have hoped. The return from the international break, not as kind as they might have hoped. A pair of 1-1 draws, but Orlando trying to reassert their status as one of the contenders to go win this league as Banda goes on an amazing run, falls over, and the referee is going to give a free kick in favor of Kansas City for the contact that occurs before Banda went over. And Banda surprised at that decision from referee Brad Jensen.
Well, I actually thought it was just going to be a no call, just allowed to be played on. But this is something that Kansas City is going to have to be mindful of. I mean, to me, that is a foul on Mace. Catches the back of Banda's leg right outside the penalty area, it looked like. But regardless, going the other way. But Mace moving into that center back role, that is something that Orlando will be looking at all game long. And we've seen Banda more often than not this season drift out into those wide areas. So how they defend her is going to be key to this game.
Shawinga. Kansas City coming in having won 8 consecutive matches, including their last 2 a bit tighter. Not quite that massive margin of victory we've seen at times this year as that direct ball into Shawinga gets the head to it. Now going chasing is Sands. Here's Tema Shawinga in the area. Shawinga leaving it back, and that first time effort goes blazing wide from Claire Hutton.
One of the questions, Chris, for you and I was, how is this game going to start? Because it is still hot. There's been 3.5 hours since the original kickoff time, but immediately Banda one end, and now it's Shawinga on the other. Draws 3 players, leaves Hutton wide open. Doesn't miss by much, but a wonderful run from Shawinga. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what this setup is from Orlando.
Again, you need that, Carson. Here's Pickett's delivery. Lifted towards that back stick and a strong claim from Lorena, which draws a big roar from this crowd.
An important grab early on in this game for Lorena. It's been a vulnerability for Kansas City set pieces defensively.
Neat flick to start this move from Lola Ponte, returns into that midfield. Handed there by the 19-year-old Claire Hutton, who looks every bit the experienced pro in that middle. Now Wheeler getting forward from right back. Cooper. Taking the strike towards goal, but never really going to trouble Anna Morehouse. Pickett again to deliver the corner. With plenty of pace, will come through and Shawinga will just boot to safety. Anywhere will do. Made by Sams. Without Barbara Banda on the pitch, Kansas City will spot an opportunity now to really have a go. Interchange there, Marta getting forward down that left side. Into that penalty area. A couple of turns, still Marta's low cross. Could come kindly in that first time strike going wide.
Well worked from Marta, then to really needed late in this game, or late in this first half.
And there is the halftime whistle. You get to the break, goalless. And there was a change here at the break as Rafaela still having her minutes managed. So Corey Dyke will come in for her, running herself into trouble, but just about into the path here. But Bia Zanerato to Bina in there as well. McCutcheon doing all that work in the middle. Hutton shifting it out wide. Rodriguez with room to cross, delivers. Shawinga was there, but deflects off Sams on its way through.
And the importance of Claire Hutton in the midfield is just tremendous. And how quickly she knows how to play 1 and 2 touch. A lot of the play is just being shoved down the middle of the field, but just the understanding wise to it that needs to go out wide, create the space. especially with the positioning of Izzy Rodriguez.
Again, Hutton beyond one. Here's Claire Hutton! Into the side netting on the wrong side.
Smiles for Claire Hutton, but this is the first time that we've seen them really start to stretch out Orlando defensively, late to the challenge from Angelina, and that does not miss by much from Claire Hutton. Just sees a little bit of a gap to get that shot off, and that ball is traveling at the near post, but it's a good look because after she's beaten the first line of pressure, she has a bit of time and space.
Great strike as well, just the wrong side of that post. There's a bit of a murmur coming through the stadium as everyone realizes that was not a goal. And that goal kick was taken short. It's like, wait, what?
Go 1v1 will create space for others. They have to continue to up their tempo in and around the 18-yard box.
Stutter step over that corner and eventually lift it in. Watt wins the header. Measuring there, Labonta didn't quite catch it. Instead, slide back to Mace. Labonta. Whipping that cross in and still forward there from the corner.
Something that we've heard from Vlatko Anowski this entire season, there's a real belief amongst this Kansas City team, regardless of the score, that they can get themselves back in it.
And here is the ensuing corner. Morehouse was watching as that one went through that 6-yard area. Bonta will take the ensuing throw and get it into that penalty area. With B.S. Zanerato hooks it through. Danner wins a header. Forward still from Hutton. Danner again, but Orlando got it clear. Hutton on the turn. And back for the left-footed strike of Rodriguez, who caught it. Always slicing out of play. McCutcheon warding off the challenge of Prince. Into Jackson, trying to squeeze it in behind. Didn't quite work out. Prince can clear to safety. Bonta slow to get up behind the play, but off goes Pia, and off goes Temwa Shawinga. The most frightening words in NWSL. Shawinga inside, still Temwa Shawinga can leave it for Zanerato. A promising moment.
Shawinga had done all the work. Bia starts it to find Shawinga. Look at the three players around her. But then at the last second right here, just able to keep the ball close, ride the challenges. A heavy touch that leaves it for Bia. But at that moment, give all the credit, though, because Orlando's still fighting, doing whatever they can. Corey Dykes closing down the angle.
Labonta is down behind the play. McCutcheon is down behind the play. Bit of carnage here at CPKC Stadium as the Currents so close to opening the scoring. Keeps it with Marta. Jackson. Immediately surrounded by two, nearly a kind bounce towards the run of McCutcheon, but didn't quite come off. Kansas City still watches Orlando in possession through Angelina in towards McCutcheon, who went for the header. Further away from Hutton, but Orlando, rare moment in this second half where they keep a flurry of possession. Striking from long distance and tipped over the bar there from Lorena.
You just see that there's a little bit of space. No one really commits to step up, gets her head up, and has a go herself. Looks like it's always rising, just gets underneath it. Really, totally commit to keeping that one on frame. Lorena has it covered, but wants to be sure about coming in. Started the game really well. Eventually the heat, timing even at the stadium is going to take a toll, and we've seen that especially for Kansas City. Even if they start to push, that final pass continues to let them down.
Rodriguez sending in another cross, dealt with again by McCutcheon, who's had a great game, lifted away from Lemos. We've had the minimum of 8, but how much more? Referee doesn't look intent on blowing the full-time whistle, so on we will go, but Kansas City have to get on with it. Lifted towards Prince, header one only as far as Ali Setner. Ali Setner trying a strike, will come out to Claire Hutton. Another cross lifted in. Zanerato can take down. Zanerato! Right at Morehouse! The game on her boot and couldn't put it either side of the goalkeeper. Zanerato could have squeezed it through. Had a couple of late chances, but couldn't convert either.
And just look at the control.
And Zanerato with that last kick of the game, it will be the full-time whistle. And so, for the first time this season, Kansas City have drawn a match. Orlando Pride able to hold Kansas City